So, for this unboxing, I want to wear a Kakashi shirt, but the only one I know of is Boss's. So he's in the shower. He takes like an hour-long shower, and so we're gonna get this thing.
Hey everybody, Bam Collectibles here, back for another statue unboxing review for you. Ever since I did my review on Sasuke by Top Studio, I wanted to get my hands on Kakashi, and today is the day where we're going to dive in and take a look. Before we do jump in, I want to say some people do say Susanoo, some people say Susnaoo. I kind of want to respect both ways of going about it, but here we have the bottom of the base. You'll see the edition size and that very awesome looking Mangekyo Sharingan. Flipping it over, we will see Top Studios did not deviate too much from the way that their Sasuke statue looked, in that we have a Rocky themed base and also these flames that are coming up. Now in Sasuke's statue, they looked like they were more of the Amaterasu flames, while in this one it looks like chakra that's coming from the Susanoo being summoned or brought forth in this statue. Now, per their standard, the paint application is fantastic on these rocks. You can see all sorts of shading going on there that makes it look so realistic. On the top view, there's going to be tons of notches and places that you'll see. Different effects are going to be installed in later. If I recall correctly, Kakashi didn't use the Amaterasu ability, so again, we're going to interpret those flames on the bottom to be an extension of the Susanoo chakra that's being flown from the ground as it's being summoned. Here is one of the many effect pieces that was sculpted separately to make this base even more epic than it already is. On the bottom of these effects is smooth, and then it transitions to a textured on the top. Now on the bottom, you'll find a notch with a magnet. And again, the texturing is on the top and it's smooth on the bottom because the bottom part is where it connects to the rock and it could rub up against it. And so they wanted to make it smooth so it slides right in there. For those who are interested and enjoy my authentic versus recast videos, I did pick up the recast or bootleg version of this statue that I'll be showcasing in the near future, so be sure to look forward to that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel or haven't hit the notification bell, I want to encourage you to do that so you don't miss out when that one drops. It's definitely going to be an extremely interesting video to see those two side by side and how the quality turns out. With our last two chakra pieces being installed now, we'll then jump to a different angle, and then I want to showcase these two smoke effects that were also included and sculpted separately. The shading on these is absolutely dreamy looking, with the dark blue going up to the light blue and some of the white on top of the tips there. Now these have a alternative purpose on here. You'll see on the very top there's a notch and something is going to be going on top of there, supporting, and that's very important. But again, also these have a notch on the bottom with a magnet, and that's how they attach to the base. But I love the shading on this. So blue is my favorite color personally, so seeing shades of colors like that just gets me excited. Sculpted extremely fragilely is pieces of Kakashi's Chidori Raikiri, I believe that's what it's called, where they're going to be bursting from the ground right under his feet, and it's further just adding to the power that's coming from him as he's using this ability in the statue. Again, multiple pieces were included. We'll go ahead and get all of those installed right near where the feet go. I always love how Chidori has many different characteristics to it and the ways that it change. You know, we've seen Sasuke turn into a giant blade, slice Data as a clay dragon out of the air, and then we also see Kakashi who turns into a dog and charges at things, but just cool how it has different characteristics. We'll see here a Pakkun was sculpted and included in this statue, looking like he is not amused at all. On the back, we'll see the Ninkin logo, or the Ninja Dogs logo, and I have to tell you, they did sculpt this very realistically. On the bottom, we can definitely tell he is a boy. Yeah, a little awkward there, but that was included. A notch on the side is how he connects to the side of the base. But again, look at that face, huh? Pakkun is not amused. He is installed on a notch, you'll see right there. It's very difficult to see, actually. And one thing I will say is I think it is kind of odd to have Pakkun in this statue. So it is nice that you can take him off or leave him on there because that notch is so well hidden. And here we have most of the full body of Kakashi or Obito's Susanoo sculpted. Really cool how Top Studio does this. So there's a lot of texturing that goes on the armored pieces, or I'm sorry, the cloth pieces of the statue, as you see there. And the more armored parts are the smoother texture. This foot here is where it mainly connects to the base, so there's a steel rod, and this joint where the bottom foot connects to the kneecap, I can see a bit of glue in there, it looks like maybe. But the one thing about Top Studio that I don't think they do well is they don't hide the way that things connect. So in the center of the body, you'll see a steel rod. There's also some magnets on the shoulders and the hands. For some reason with this statue, I guess it just shines through the resin. Maybe it's the angles that we catch it at. But let me say, you don't see this stuff from 5 feet away typically. You see it when you're, right now 6 inches away from the statue. So when you're displaying it in your collection, these flaws that I mentioned are not bad at all. They fade into the back of everything because of how, awesome the statue looks when it's together. This foot wasn't all the way, so let me just pop this in and good to go. If there is one area that Top Studio does a majestic job at, it is going to be the wings. So both with Sasuke and with this statue, it looks incredible. It looks like actual crystal, how clear this is. And again, the shading is just phenomenal, going from the dark to the lights to the white towards the tips there. If you are a die-hard fan of Naruto or someone who's just really keen at remembering the details, I wanted you to tell me in the comment section what's wrong with these wings, particularly towards the tips of them. There's something that they sculpted incorrectly. I won't point it out, I'll let you guys do, but I was shocked that they missed this detail. But man, it still looks awesome either way, and it's on the top, but there was something that was a missed, and definitely a missed opportunity on this statue. I forgot to showcase before, there are notches in the back, and the steel rods on the wings allow it to attach there. There's also some rubber pads in those notches inside the wings to be sure that resin isn't rubbing up against resin, so it sits there without the potential of cracking. Now here are the hands that's going to be sculpted. Both of them are in very similar positions, and again, the colorations, the shading, the way that the paint is applied on here, it looks extremely cool. I'm a huge fan of clear resin. If you've been around the channel for a while, you'll know when clear resin gets on the screen, I get a little weak because I love it. It looks incredible. And yet again, here we can see that in the way that these hands were sculpted. Just like the rest of the body, the armored parts do have texturing, and parts that would potentially be skin if it was a human are smoother. Both shoulder pads on the armor are extremely crystal clear, just like the wings on the statue, and you have the very white towards the end going down to the dark section. Here are the notches with magnets inside. That's where it's going to connect to the body. Now, both of them are in different shapes, so you can't really confuse them when you're installing them on there, but mesmerizing to look at those up close, right? Just like the wing and shoulder pads, this is sculpted extremely clear, looks incredible. There's so many details that are packed in.
Oh, where's my shirt? The thing went missing.
Note to self, do not steal boss's shirt again. Gorgeously sculpted all around. We'll see the hair and the tips are pointing upward, and if we flip this around the bottom, we'll see it connects with that notch and magnet there. And then looking a little bit closer at the face, again, so many details. We have that long nose that's pointing out. That's an extremely fragile piece. I've had 2 Susanoos arrive with the nose broken. Unfortunately, I've had to glue them, but that one came perfectly intact. And here we have Kakashi himself. Oh my gosh, how good did they do with the sculpt on this? We have that scar in the chest we'll go over on this left leg. Here is where the steel rod that allows him to really connect. So that steel rod's going up his leg a little bit to reinforce things. The ninja tool pouch bag on the back. You'll also notice that all the different wrappings that are typically white are really dirty from all the battles that he's been going through with the Shinobi War that's going on. And then the wound that's on his chest that he got from when Obito slashed him, because he was still in that shocked state of mind because of just realizing that his friend was actually alive and what he had become. But the flak jacket itself is also really greatly colored. I love the vibrant green look. The head was sculpted separately. We'll take a closer look. Has a magnet that attaches itself to it. But Kakashi's hair is a hard thing to get right, and I think that they nailed it, especially the coloration in it as well. I'm always super impressed how they can do these stickers that they use for the eyes. I think they're laser printed stickers that go on there. It's like paint decals, but the Mangekyo Sharingan that are on his eyes just turned out really well. I'm struggling a bit here to get that head on, but there we have it. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the arms that were sculpted separately after installing him. Unfortunately, I knocked Pakkun over while installing this, so I'll get him back on there. But be sure to stay tuned. Very soon we'll be busting open a Naruto CCG pack so we can do it as I've begun to do for my videos. Here is his right arm, or I guess technically his left arm. We have a wound there on the shoulder, and the kunai that he's holding is actually made of real metal. I can always tell because it feels different. It's actually really cold when I touch it too, and it's kind of hanging there, dangling loosely. There's no way to take it out, so it's sculpted in there. They must have glued it together But really cool, some of the details they added on that arm. And for the other arm, if we take a look at his hand closely, you'll tell what ability he's using because he has those flexed, intense fingertips there. So he's using a Chidori in his hand. There's a notch on the very top there, and that's how it's going to be fitting in. But overall, looks great. The Chidori itself is sculpted as one giant piece, a lot of different fragile tips on there. We'll see a notch that's coming out. That's where it connects to the hand. But the coloration of it is different, so it's not the standard blue color. It's got, I don't know, like a dark purplish tint to it, or I guess it's mainly supposed to look black, but really cool looking. We'll get this installed onto the hand, and then we'll get it onto the rest of the body. You know, after getting everything assembled and installed on here, I now understand why Pakkun is making the face that he's making. Little guy's probably thinking like, Kakashi, why the heck did you summon me in this battle? Like, what am I gonna do, pee on somebody? I'll go ahead and spin this around a little bit so you can take a look at the Chidori from the side, and also there where those dust cloud or those blue cloud supports on the right and left. We'll go ahead and showcase what we're gonna be installing on top of those. Here we have one of two giant Kamui Shurikens that were sculpted. Now, one thing I will say they could have improved on is painting these more of a darker metallic look. This is a realistic looking ninja tool weapon. Should have been kind of a black chrome texture to it. Just something they could have, done better. But we have the notch on the bottom, which will connect to the dust cloud. And I love the little chakra particles that are, giving the spinning effect on the sides there. I always loved how this ability worked. I thought it was a little broken, I guess, in the end, because, at first it was restricted to him just using it from his eye, but then to actually, manipulate it with a weapon and whatever it contacts with does the same type of effect. Definitely overpowered, but a cool combination of a progression of Kakashi, how he grows over time, especially inheriting the power of Obito. Also, to showcase the edition size for this statue is a metal plaque that they included. We have Kakashi's portrait on there. Top's logo, the edition size. I'm not sure why it says ABD. Usually it says INT, standing for international, but that's what is printed on there. And we'll go ahead and bust out our Naruto pack for this video. Of course, the fact that this is a video about Kakashi and Obito and their Susanoo, that we're going to be busting open a Broken Promise pack right here with both of them on the front there. I've had some people complain about how I open these wrong. I'm really not sure what you're talking about, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure I cut the tops off of there, and so we get things off very easily and the cards out safely. First off, we have Restricted Jutsu, and then we have Anbu, then we have Young Orochimaru, or Childhood Orochimaru, as a reverse holographic. And then Special Kuni. Hey, look at that! Kakashi and Pakkun. Yo! What again? Again, we get these cool cards. So this is not a super rare card. In fact, this is a pretty, average card. But the fact that we get this card after the video, again, I love it. Dude, these packs love me every time I open these up. Random Sand Guy. And we have Fire Temple for our rare for the pack. One of the things that all Top Studios statues are missing, in my opinion, is a little bit of representation in LEDs. So what I purchased here is a spotlight. It comes with a rechargeable battery. You could spin it around in any direction or tilt it in any direction as well. That front button there is how you turn it on. And we'll go over that in just a second. Let me flip it around the back. There's how it charges. And if we bust open the bottom part of it, it says on there with all these words that basically you do have to pop this off and turn it on first, which I already have with that switch there. And we'll flip this back over and turn this on so I can show you all the different colors. If you're interested or in the market for one of these, I would encourage you to visit my BAM Collectibles store on Amazon. If you go to Google and search BAM Collectibles Amazon, or in my description of the video, you'll find a link there. You can find a store where I have all the products that I recommend as a collector, and this is going to be in my customization section, which you'll find this light here, but it comes with an awesome remote where you can adjust all the different lighting that you want to do. Now for this one, I'm going to be looking for that color that's in between blue and green, almost a turquoise look to it, because that's what I interpret his Susanoo looking like. But we'll go ahead and put this on top of something to stand and see how it looks. Come on now. For $17.99 to get this kind of custom lighting out of a statue that didn't originally include it is phenomenal. I think this turned out great. It's an awesome option for somebody. Again, it's rechargeable, or you can keep it plugged up to the wall. And there you have it, my review on Top Studios Kakashi. Now, which one is better, SXG, waist up version, or this complete version? Let me know in the comment sections. I'll see you in the next video, everybody. As always, do what you love and love what you do. Bam out.